to a faster me. We're out here at CBR, the state championship for the crits. I will be racing the Masters for the first time, racing with the 4.5s, but I'll be in the Masters category. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. So thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back to A Faster Me. This is my first time, as you heard in the intro, doing the Masters category. I decided to try something different and heard that for state championships, it doesn't matter what level of rider you are, you can still compete for the state championship jerseys. But for nationals, it needs to be category 1 through 3. So there's multiple different races going on in this race, which is new, and all levels of categories are in the Masters. So there's 35 plus, 40 plus, it goes up increments of 5 years. The announcer kind of joked of 100 plus. So I am thinking that as old as you are, they would have a category for you, and then you would get that championship jersey if you're in that category. So there was about four of us signed up in the category that I'm in, which is 40 to 44. And my goal this race was to just be patient, to try to sit in, do a little bit better drafting, and not get too impatient. So I'm sitting in pretty good here, and so
yeah, just a clarification too. I think she said 40 plus to 44, but it's actually 40 plus. So if you're 50, you can sign up for 40 plus. You just can't be under 40 and sign up for 40 plus. So I think each category is like that. I'm not 100% sure in state championships, but in normal Masters, you can race in a younger category, but you cannot be younger and race in an older category.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying or adding a little insight, because I'm not exactly sure how that works.
Yeah, well, like you know, in the group there is somebody that's 40 plus that didn't sign up for the 40 plus and did pretty well. So it just depends on what you sign up for and then what you qualify for. So
yeah, she could have signed up in actually both of the races, the Masters category and the Open 4-5, and won both the regular Open category as well as the Masters category, but unfortunately she didn't, and so she just won the Open category. Darnell is her name, and I have raced with her. She looks familiar, but I met her actually officially right before the start of this race, so congratulations to her.
all right, well, let's get into some racing. You guys look like you got a pretty good pace going right here.
Yeah, it was a little bit faster the whole race, and then come to find out we had some Cat 1 and 2 and 3s in there, so that was kind of exciting to just race with all different levels, and they were out there competing, and I think picked up the pace for the whole race comparative to some previous races. And it's coming to the end of the season. Everyone's putting in work, competing out here for the state championship also.
Yeah, that jersey brings out the cutthroats, you know. So yeah, it's a good accomplishment. It's something good to fight for. It's good to have on your resume, and yeah, I mean, that's awesome that you get a unique jersey that you're basically the state champion for a year. So you get to have bragging rights for an entire year. So I'd also like to say it's good to see Darren back out there. I know one of our last videos, she had a crash in one of our last videos. So I don't, it's kind of hard to recognize her without the neon helmet that she used to wear. But it's just great to see her back out and competing again, and she looks strong.
Yeah, another rider back is Jade from Major Motion. She has been kind of missing in action, working a lot, and
Jade is really strong.
Dealing with some other things, so she was back. It was good to see her, and she did a good job as well.
Yeah, I think you also I know people have heard me throughout the year talking about your drafting and lack of drafting, but you actually do a pretty good job of drafting in this race. There's still some watt advantages to be gained, but for the most part, you stayed on wheels a lot better this race than you have, like, through the middle to late part of the season. Okay.
And that was my goal, and it sure is a lot easier when you're having a little bit of wind resistance
Taken away.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I was a lot more patient. I was just trying to wait till the last couple laps, and I felt like I had more to give, but I still am doing a whole lot more work than I need to be out of corners, and am a little bit too far back, which I was okay with just because I was really working on trying to be patient. And what I've done in previous races is I've gotten impatient and I end up in the front doing way more work than I need to, but I still am kind of missing that sweet spot of being able to sit 5th, 6th, 7th wheel and still get all the benefit of the draft and not have quite as much surging at the back. So I was outside a lot of the race, and then towards the end you'll see I'm going inside, but no need to jump ahead.
Yeah, you did a good job right there, though. Number 567 or 561 looks like she was falling back a little bit for a second, so you got off of her wheel and onto Jade's wheel, I believe this is.
And here we have Summer, and she has a video out of some raw footage, and it's nice to see myself sometimes in videos, just because I'm used to seeing it from the angle that you're seeing it now, and it's nice to kind of see what you're doing at the same points but from someone else's perspective.
Yeah, and she said here we have Summer, but that's Summer to the left in the Go Fast kit with the orange bike, the orange Trek. And Summer's YouTube channel is Two Wheels and a Girl. It's a new channel, so show it some love. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, because that allows the YouTube algorithms to for people to find her channel. So it may be a little hard to find at first, and the easiest way to find it, I believe, is putting in Two Wheels and a Girl raw footage, and then I think it shows up then.
So you're saying our listeners can't read my mind of where I'm pointing to?
Yeah,
exactly.
Summer? Yeah, they don't see that finger pointing at her on screen.
Great.
Yeah.
That's why you're the
yeah.
you're the video leader in the household.
Well, I'm kind of moving back to the director seat, and you're gonna take over commentary.
Well, I would like to say that before the race, Anthony was giving me a hard time, saying he had passed me in the highest finishing place. So if I wanted to
just some motivation
to beat him, that I had to do something this race. In front of me is a new or reacquainted friend, Melissa. I tried to work with her at Rosina Ranch, out in the rain, freezing cold, and here I find her wheel. She's a really solid wheel to follow. I could see her trying to move up on the outside, and kudos to her doing the women's Pro 123 race later. I would have been spent trying to do 2 races in one day. So I know she had kind of it was a tough day, tough race, but great job to her. So I end up doing a lot of following her wheel.
Yeah, Melissa has a good riding position too. If you look, you can see her back is flat, her elbows are bent. She's in the drops. That's pretty efficient riding position, and especially she's one of the taller women out here. So it definitely makes a difference. I know people think it doesn't, especially when you're tired. Everyone likes to get up on the hoods, but honestly, we need to work our cores a lot more to be able to hold that position in the drops, and it does make a difference just saving that little bit of wind resistance.
And that's what stood out to me the most when I looked at myself from Summer's video, is I see my arms are almost locked out even though I'm in the drops, and I even think I'm trying to be down and a little bit more aerodynamic. I even remember several times throughout the race working on that, but that struck me when I saw myself, as just how upright I was and really look a little stiff, which is not great for if there is an incident, because you want to be loose and relaxed and take any potential hits that may come your way, or bumps, or just be able to be prepared for a bump in the road or moving around.
One thing that goes a long way too is when you have your arms locked out and stiff like that, all the road vibration goes into your hands, into your elbows, things like that. And that is one of the reasons also why we get our hands so numb at the end too. It's not just gripping the bar so tight, but just locking it out. If you think of like a spring or a shock, springs are loose and they're moved. That's why your elbow is bent and you can absorb some of that. But the more stiff you have it and the more locked out you have it, the vibration is going to kind of transfer through your body, through the bike, through the forks, and through your body.
That's Samantha from Go Fast in the green jersey coming up on the left there. She's done a great job just getting most aggressive rider in the series after Heather promoted up to Cat 3 as she previously had both jerseys, but left a little bit of an open space for other riders to come in.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, like, so for that green jersey, it's kind of also the sprint jersey, and that's basically the person that's going to be crossing the finish line the most. And also at certain times they have like some preem point, some point preems, I'm sorry, for different categories, and you can also grab some of those things there. So Go Fast actually did a really good job, and they're kind of dominating the series as far as the green jersey goes. I believe 4 of their riders hold a green jersey in different categories.
Yeah, definitely great job kind of dominating that category. And Sarah is in the yellow jersey if you see her out here. And that is the overall points leader for the series, but I think she stays closer to the front because I don't see her out here, and I'm towards the back. So
yeah, I mean, it's not bad to be, I mean, obviously I don't like being towards the back. It just gets more surgy. And if you guys pay attention to Ellen's watch, she's probably doing 3 sprints per lap at somewhere between 400 and 600 watts, and over 30 minutes that will tax you. I don't know how many laps you guys do, maybe let's say 10 laps or something like that, and that's going to end up being like 30 sprints. And at the front you can control that a little more, keep your momentum, don't have to slow down as much because you're not behind as many people, and you wouldn't have to do those accelerations out of the corner so much.
yeah, it's amazing. The numbers don't lie. I felt like it was a less surgy race, and maybe it was comparatively because the pace was higher, but that really doesn't matter if you're doing that amount of work every lap. It takes a toll, so it makes sense why I didn't have as much at the end, even though I felt pretty fresh because I did, a better job drafting. And that was another thing. I think they had 7 preems in the race, so almost every lap was a preem lap, so that kept the pace pretty high as well.
Yeah, you're a little out in the wind right now, but yeah, just, I don't know, being closer to the top 10, it just gets a little smoother. Often it's single file. As you can see, it's like a tip of an arrow. So way up front, it's single file, and then you start, as you go back, the Peloton widens a little bit. So being up front where it's single file, you definitely will not be hitting your brakes as much.
Yeah, that'll be coming soon. So if not this season, next season. Stay tuned.
Yeah, to a YouTube channel coming soon, right? Yeah. Now you're still doing a good job though, following Melissa, and Melissa's a good steady wheel to follow. There's Summer putting in a little dig there. Yeah, I would say the only thing is, like, so obviously you did way better just following wheels here, but yeah, you just got to be more up to the front for, I don't know, from compared to the beginning of the year, like everyone's Racecraft has gotten a lot better, and it's pretty cool to see also, especially since we have them all on video. Looking at the first race of the year, it was like, I don't know, it's like everybody was riding in mud. Speeds were like 18, 15, 19 miles per hour. It was like the hot laps, and now you guys are hardly ever under 20 miles per hour.
And here is Peach cycling in these colorful. I love their kits, but they did a pretty good job throughout the race. I saw a number of them riding together, which is great when you have teammates to stick with each other. And you see there's three there that I could see, but several other times they're all together. There's, I think, at least four in the race, so great job to them to kind of work together. I don't know what their team tactics or strategy are, but having a wheel that to follow is always better than having a wheel you don't know.
Yeah, and as you were admiring the jerseys, you didn't notice that Melissa was falling back a little bit, and instead of moving off of a wheel. That's one of the things we all have to recognize. It's good to draft someone, but if you're drafting someone that's falling back or getting dropped, you have to recognize that, get off of that wheel and onto the train soon. So when you were following Melissa, you guys were probably mid-pack or so, and as Melissa fell back, you probably got passed by a good 10 to 12 people.
Yeah, I still lack a little
awareness.
And not even awareness as much as decisive or decision making. So I think I just hold back and I think too much and I don't react. So sometimes it's like, oh, I could have followed them up, but I didn't react when they went by. Or then sometimes I think a little bit too long. Do I need to go by here, or should I just be patient and sit in the draft? So that little lack of go causes, usually not good things to happen.
Yeah, definitely need to be more assertive and just more sure of yourself, and make a decision. We all make bad decisions, but it's best to just make a choice and live with it. So sometimes you don't have to have the best plan, but you do have to execute it well. Another shout out to here to Lisa Mohammed, who ends up winning the state championship. She raced this bike. She raced this event on her gravel bike. So that's a pretty good to keep up with, road bikes for one. I know gravel bikes and road bikes are pretty similar, but one of the big differences, or two of the big differences, are the gravel bike's usually a little heavier. I know that doesn't hurt that much in a crit, because once you get it up to speed, it's actually a decent benefit, but it's not as aerodynamic. But it has gravel gears is the difference, and it's kind of like compact gears are 50-34 up front, and your cog can be whatever it is, but gravel bikes usually are smaller than 50s up front, and she did a great job. Obviously she won the 40 plus category.
Yes, definitely. So Lisa, great job. I know it came at a great time, but congratulations. Also wanted to give a shout out. She passed a minute ago when you were talking, but
spit it out.
I think Reagan is her name, from Sisterhood of Cycling, the Subaru team. She was given some advice of just kind of marking who is in your category and knowing as a master rider who you are up against, and just kind of having some just different strategy of what to do in the race. So she was giving kind of tips to everybody out there.
I think we all need to pay more attention to who's in the race and what type of riders people are. But I think also something not to get caught up in is racing against one person. We all need to be aware, but when you tend to say like, oh, I want to be rider number 7 or whatever the case may be, that may happen, but you get so caught up in one racer that someone else ends up taking advantage of that fight or whatever, or you're locked in on one person.
And you see Kim from Sisterhood of Cycling grab a drink of water there, and it was a good place to take a drink. I actually think I took a drink at the same place the following lap, but you're kind of following her, and she doesn't, lose. She actually is making up some spots there. And
I think honestly, just watching the video, I think that's probably the best spot for you guys to make up some places there, is coming into turn 1. For whatever reason, it's downhill. I know you just got done with the climb. A lot of people are tired, but you can really carry a lot of speed and momentum around the outside there. by clicking into a harder gear, slowing your pedaling down a little bit, but you'll still gain some speed downhill and just carry it around the outside.
And here I find myself behind, with Melissa again. We talked after the race. Both of us are a little bit too nice sometimes and give up wheels and don't, we're not quite as assertive as we need to be. But yeah, it was really nice talking to you, Melissa, and just, she does some coaching of her own and kind of part of a team. So check them out. I don't have the name in front of me, but look at the jersey and check her out.
Yeah, Peach Cycling is doing a good job. I saw all 4 of their racers lined up a second ago. So it's always good to see people working as a team. I mean, the lower categories, a lot of time, everyone's just trying to figure things out, and there's not a lot of team tactics, but it's great when you see it, even if the team tactic is just racing near each other, make it a little more comfortable. So yeah, it's great to see, and I think also just having big participation from all the women this year has been awesome.
And here is Linda from Paddock Racing in front of me. I think it's a little small there, but yeah, I think that's Linda.
Yeah, it's Linda.
And definitely inspiring. So I think she's the oldest rider out there in the 65 plus category.
State champion.
And just definitely hope that I'm doing what you're doing, Linda, in 25 years. So just, she is so fit and, just definitely inspiring to be out there racing with her.
Yeah, I know one of the last CBRs, I can't remember which video it was. I think it was on the short course with the little hill. Yeah, you rode Linda's wheel a lot in that race. She did a lot of hard work. She probably pulled maybe 3 laps by herself off the front, but that was pretty awesome to see. And here's a little attack here by Darren.
Yeah, Darren did a little acceleration, and I just said, okay, here's a chance to get second wheel. I was actually thinking of that race where I was following Linda, and so I'm thinking, okay, if Darren goes, I'll go. I'm in good position. And then she backs off, and I heard bikes behind me. I don't know how far, but I was not going to be in the position that I've been in the last few races where I go and do a ton of work in the front. Had maybe I known that there was a little gap, we could have worked together. I think there's only maybe 3 laps left. But I heard bikes behind me, so I just, even though my tendency is to want to go, I didn't. And then here is probably where I think I really need some work, because I'm up here, I'm in the front of the race, and this was kind of my chance. And as people come by me,
You fall asleep a little bit.
It was just, it's like I don't want to take the wheel from someone, but I'm in there, and so I just don't know how to really kind of be assertive and get on a wheel. I just kind of let the group kind of go by, and I'm just kind of there. So in the whole group passes again, and I'm doing a good 200 watts, but
yeah, that's just because you guys are going uphill. But yeah, you should have stayed like third wheel or whatever. Once they passed, there was a girl that was right in front of you, and you kind of just sagged off that wheel. So yeah, definitely this hurts with just a couple laps to go. You don't want to have to use energy to try to pass people again. So really going into the last 2 laps, you were where you wanted to be, second position. Personally, I would have liked to be 5th, 6th position right then with 3 laps to go, and you had a good opportunity to stay up there.
So probably my most disappointing part of the race, because I actually felt like I had a lot more to give. Now, truth be told, I may not have. I may have spent my matches with those 500 watt efforts out of, at least 1 or 2 corners a lap, but I felt like I had more to give. I felt fresher just doing some drafting. So I was a little bit disappointed with, overall performance. So I think that was the moment in the race where I could have been in a much different position at the end had I, not let the whole peloton pass me again. But that's what it is, and
I don't know who it is, but someone just said something. Whoever the person is to the right said something to you and pointed forward. I just don't know what they were saying. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, that might have been Reagan saying like, "Hey, you're still here.
get up there,
get a wheel and go. I think she was encouraging.
Yeah, because she pointed and it looked like maybe she was saying, "Get on the wheel."
I think it may have been like, "You're right here."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and honestly, you still are right there. If you look just 2 bike links in front of you, the lady with the red jersey, reddish orange jersey there, I believe that's the race winner. And with 1 lap to go, you're going to be right on her wheel. But she moved up on the inside, and here it is here. Yeah, you're basically going to be right on her wheel, and she moves up inside, and you don't go with her. Which I've been there. I've been right next to the race winner on the last lap, and for whatever reason, I didn't follow that wheel.
Yeah, it's so, I guess that is just the experience. I know she signals and I let her in.
Group ride.
It cracked me up, but that's either a sign of be closer on the wheel so someone doesn't have that opportunity to move in, or I could have got right on her wheel, like you said, and been up there and in position.
Yeah, if she's willing to put in a little surge to move up, I would have definitely tried to jump on that wheel.
Yeah, again, it's just the lack of decision, and it just puts you in a bad position. So,
and again, if you don't know who's who, it's kind of hard to commit to following someone not knowing what their intentions are. So I don't know if you know who she is or not, but if you mark her as she's someone that's going to be there at the end, then yeah, with 1 lap to go, it's probably best to follow her.
And I hadn't had her marked that way. Know a couple people that could be there at the end. Every race Jade's been in, she's been there at the end. Sarah with the yellow jersey there at the end. So I'm just starting to get to know wheels to follow now that it's the end of the season. So
yeah, good time to start. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it will be improvements to come.
It's getting hot right here, though. Everybody's pretty much in the red and going for it. This is a great time of the race right here. It's pretty exciting. It's a place that you can't fake it. Those last 2 laps, you can't fake it. Everyone's going to basically be all out.
And there was a preem lap, of course, and then the bell lap.
Yeah. No, I think one of the things that I wish I had that you have is right here. You start your sprint back here. You're a good 800 yards or something of sprinting, and yeah, I would have popped after like 10 seconds of this. Look at you just flying by people, passing people, and yeah, I don't have that in me to put that long of a sprint in.
But it still is not like I knew that there was so far to go. It's like, how do you give the kind of effort that you need to be in position when it's just so stretched out? So I think I'm able to pass one person here coming up to the line, and it was initially it said 4th, but like I mentioned, Darnell, they put her in the Masters category just because of her age, but then she had not registered, and I believe she was gracious to say, no, I don't deserve to be there because I registered for 4-5. So thanks for tuning in.